Most studies devoted to Malcolm X ignore or do not examine the connections between the NOI and the American Nazi Party. Even the scholar Claude Andrew Clegg, who is highly critical of Muhammad's decision to allow George Lincoln Rockwell to speak in 1962, argues that the Nazi leader was a sort of bugbear that Muhammad used to scare blacks into the NOI. This underestimates the common ground involved. In the April 1962 issue of Muhammad Speaks, Muhammad praised Rockwell as a man who had endorsed the stand for self that you and I are taking. Why should not you applaud? The Nazis have taken a stand to see that you be separated to get justice and freedom. For several years, George Lincoln Rockwell continued to endorse the NOI's program. At an address in October 1962, for example, he stated, Elijah Muhammad is a black supremacist and I'm a white supremacist. That doesn't necessarily mean we got to kill each other. Dining with the devil requires more than a long spoon, like the tete-a-tete with the Klan. The NOI's public identification with the Nazis undermined Malcolm's efforts to reach out to moderate audiences, people who might have agreed with his critique of American racism but rejected his solutions. This was the challenge he faced when he again confronted Bayard Rustin on January 23, 1962. The debate was held at Manhattan's Community Church, a liberal East Side congregation. The topic, separation or integration, should have favored Rustin. The audience consisted largely of white liberals who strongly supported civil rights. However, Malcolm X astutely did not condemn all whites as devils, emphasizing instead the negative effects of institutional racism on the black community. His arguments were persuasive to many whites in the audience. Rustin was forced to complain that too many whites in the gallery, including some of his own friends, were applauding Malcolm's statements more vigorously than the Negroes in the audience. May I explain the process? It is, my friends, that many white people love to hear their kind damned to high water while they sit saying, isn't it wonderful that that nice black man gives those white people hell, but he couldn't be talking about me? I'm the liberal. Malcolm's lectures and sermons in early 1962 rarely mentioned the core values of the nation's theology. Increasingly, he was pulled into larger debates over the political future of black America, probably to silence his critics. That was on page 201. Malcolm X, A Life of Reinvention, book by Manning Marable. It was his magnus opum, his opus, Mr. Holland's opus. It was a New York Times bestseller, and it's the only other book that I know of that's, you got Aldous Huxley, right? You got that autobiography, or the biography, or it's autobiography, right? It's an autobiography. Yeah. We're allowed to read Ken Starr, but there is some talk of sex in that autobiography. Maybe I should get those quotes. Have a Malcolm X versus Ken Starr.